I Good morning, my lovelies. Afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. How are ya today? We are starting so early this morning, but we have a raid train coming in a little bit. So, I thought we should be prepared. I'm sitting here going through my navy versus my black. Do you know how hard that is? Like, then I go, oh, maybe that's black. Oh, maybe that's navy. No, maybe that's that. Anyway, I think that's navy. I think this is black. But we're going to move on from that. I was just sitting here waiting for y'all. So, oh, I do need these right here. These right here. I need these. So, we are working on a rug for my laundry room that we're only using leftovers that have been cut for other. See, now that looks navy again, and that's navy. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That's black. So those are all navy. Here's black. Just only using leftovers from other rugs. What do you think of that? I think that's going to be difficult, but we're going to do it. Well, it's not going to be difficult. I have tons. What it's going to be is it going to turn out pretty or is it going to be ugly? That's kind of where we're at. So, I'm just I threw them all Saturday. I wanted to get a little ahead so y'all could see kind of my plan and how it would come together. So that's where we're at right now. Just want to make sure I have everything working. I am missing some panels. I don't know where they are. I should have not played around with things because I think I'm going to take that off. And no, I'm right. That goes that way, and usually it's that way. Okay, I got it. I've got it. We're good. Let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm going to move these grays off for a moment, but I may use them in my sink. And I'm going to move these navies and these blacks away. I think I'm going to do white legs here because we've got a gray baseboard and a lighter gray flooring. So let's start with this. See how we do. Got a little pucker in our rug. And I'm just going to take this down the side of this machine. Actually, I'm going to move it over one more row. Oh, thank you. Is that better? Y'all can see what I'm doing now. Alright, hold on. I'm trying to stop one more thing from running across my screen. Just take one back a bit. Look at my timed messages real quick. Let's edit this one, and I'm gonna do that for that one. And what do I have this one running at? Oh, about the same. Let's do this one for that. And I think that will work. Oh, you filming. Look at him go. Good job, Bish. Thanks for lurking. You know I appreciate you. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to do. All right, give me one more second. I'm going to change my commercial thing right now. Today, let's do that. All right, Rudy. Now we're good to go. Okay. And this one's going to look a little funny. So just
looking for a jacket. Yeah, I know. I'll let the crazy
Did you-
go, and you'll say
yes.
whoever you're gonna
Yeah.
say.
So Did you look out in the car?
Yeah, it's not in the
Okay, but you were wearing your sweatshirt yesterday, so we know it's not there.
car. Yeah. Well, I would have seen it in the car yesterday because we loaded
I mean,
stuff.
you didn't leave it in the U-Haul because you weren't wearing
No,
it.
I was wearing my sweatshirt. Yeah, no.
So it's here somewhere. It's probably under a blanket somewhere. All right. I'm gonna come down this side real quick. I don't usually do it this way, but I'm gonna go ahead and outline this side. Hey.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not gonna keep fighting this. Let me take this off for a little bit. Okay. I'm fighting right here, the arm of my frame. And so my hand has to come around it to be able to hold the wool. But if I move my arm on the other side of the frame, then I'm twisting my wrist so weird underneath that it's just not comfortable all the way around. But if I'm not fighting that bulk of it rolling everything back up under here, it's a little easier to do. So I do brave the cuts from the carpet tacks every once in a while, just so I don't have to tweak my hand that way. Oh, did I run out of white? Okay, we're gonna have to search for white in our jars. I think I hopefully see some white right here. Because remember, we're only using what we have cut. Oh, but there's some of that gray I need for later. So let's go ahead and pull that out. I don't know what I did with that gray, but oh, there it is. Oh, is that a different gray? Nope, same gray. Yay, same gray. So we're gonna pull this gray out. And here's that piece of white. We're gonna have to go dive in for more white. I think I have some in another jar. You know what might be fun? That might be fun for the clothes rack. Do we have any more of that? Probably not. Of course, why would we? Oh well, we'll see. Maybe we will. Or maybe I'll find more of that somewhere else. Okay, so let's put our jar back on. Now, my lids are numbered because that's the size cut. Cub. Alright, so this one's thicker, so I am going to go ahead and start this one. And I thought the white would work because we're going to be up against gray floors, gray baseboards, but it's not going to be up against the white walls this way. And we're going to do purple for the washing machine. Then we're going to come in here with really thin ones. We'll see what we have in colors of thin cuts to do like our sock that's hanging out of the washing machine. And maybe our bucket will be a blue or yellow. Bring more yellow down. Pull this just a little tighter. Did you see how much that moved when I pulled? Cub, I am ready whenever y'all are. I don't even know what time it is. I'm just gonna hang out here and work away until y'all are ready. Good to go, so whenever y'all are ready. Thank you, Cub. This one's bright. This one is gonna be a fun rug. I think I'm gonna outline this one in this dark purple. And I think we're gonna move that light just a little to soften it back up. So I'm just going to outline cub? So I've got to go around here. Blue, blue. I don't want blue, blue. Oh, some more of that gray right there.
Welcome. Welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome in, Raiders.
You're welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to my life.
Come in, come in. Come join my party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everyone? Are y'all having fun on this train adventure? I have had so much fun. We've gotten to go to different countries without even leaving our houses. Hi, Cozy Laney. How is everybody? You're having a blast, Cub. I know, it is so much fun. I have followed so many new people.
Welcome to my life.
Thank you so much for the follows.
Welcome. Welcome. You're welcome.
Hello. Is it
Welcome to
MDO
my
Crafting? Hello.
life.
KB Fibers. How are y'all? How are y'all? I know it's morning for some, afternoon for others, evening for other people, and thanks for the check-in. You've always wanted to try to do this? Our last thing was Summer World Tour, and everyone talked about their area of the world. See, that is so awesome. Yeah. I mean, you just learn so many new things, right? Thank you for all the check-ins. Dismiss it. Okay, so have y'all learned something new over the last few days? Have you found new things to try? Hey, Sassy Cat, thanks for the check-in. Oh, I'm hoping Toy Rodeo was able to just dismiss that ad that's coming in. Thank you so much for the follows. So, what I do mainly, I do a little bit of everything.
Welcome.
Thank you for the follow. What I do mainly is rugs. I do mainly traditional rug hooking and punch needle. So these are my two main tools that never are far away from me. And I also do ultra punch, although not as much. But I used to love cross stitch, and my eyes don't want to do cross stitch anymore. So this to me is like cross stitch. So I do have some finished rugs over on the left that are just going through a slideshow. This is one of my little ones, my mini punch, which is what I just showed you, that needle. And that's what that looks like with DMC floss. You've learned that you're addicted to all crafts and must try them all. I know. Well, I will tell you, I am very good at being an enabler and an encourager. Thank you. And I have gotten a few streamers to try some new things, haven't I, Cub? So I love talking about what I do. I love teaching about what I do. Stop me at any point if you have questions. I will absolutely show you what you need to know, teach you what you need to be taught. I love it. I just absolutely love the what I do. It's so much fun. So our theme, more friends showing up. Yarny Crafts Art Therapy. They are double raiders. Welcome in, raiders. And of course, my lovely friend Classy. Thank you for the raid. And she's another one that I have enabled well. Just ask her. Yeah. So our theme was to reuse, recycle. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right, so our goal was to reuse, and when I do my rug hooking, I use large pieces of felted wool, and I cut. I don't think he does sleep. I cut strips. I have a machine, a hand crank machine that I can put different blades on, and it will cut different sizes of cuts. And what I do when I'm done with a project is I take them and throw them in these mason jars, my leftovers. There's Lady Cricket Bug. Good morning, Lady Cricket Bug. And I put my number on top of, ooh, that's bright, isn't it? My number on top of what size cuts these are. And I throw them over in a jar. Well, I have 6 jars full, and then I'm working off of all this right here. So these are called noodles, or worms, because they do end up kind of looking like worms when you hook into them. So that's what I determined to do. Was, thank you for the follows. I have decided to just use my leftovers that I had in, noodles, in my jars, and only use those noodles to do this rug. So that's what I'm doing. And I wanted to give y'all kind of an idea of what a rug in process looks like. So I went ahead and did my lettering, the outlining of my lettering, and started with that just to get us started so you had a little bit of a visual. So that is what I am doing, and I will show you. I do use the process for other things. I have a knitting group that we get together, and for Christmas, I did everyone a coaster, 4 sides, so it made a large sunflower, and each one of us has a part of the sunflowers. So when you're feeling sad or lonely or, depressed, then know that you have others that fit into your sunflower. So that was what I did for Christmas. So and I just made a coaster out of it. I have done so I have a collab coming up on 321 with C. Jamie Sim. I know, isn't that cute? And we are doing, I drew her 2 daughters door hangers for their rooms with their names on them. And so I'm going to teach her on that stream on the 21st how to ultra punch. So she's going to do the DMC floss. And and then on Wednesday's stream, my next door neighbor, I got her, and we're in an ad break, are we? Okay, well, we'll hold up on that for just a minute. So I will hook until we get back from ads. Halter punch is very fun because you have many different lengths you can make the loops. Yes, that is correct. Good morning, Grim Reaper. Hey, Prophet, how are you? It is definitely bright, isn't it? I think it's going to be fun. How are you this morning? Off to a busy week? So, the next collab I'm doing You eat your breakfast. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Mondays are just a calm before the storm, apparently. I think so. We get to catch you on Monday and maybe Friday usually. That's awesome. So, the other collab I'm doing is Wednesday. I got my neighbor started streaming, and thank you, Mel, for the lurk. So my next door neighbor is a beautiful artist. She draws just gorgeous things and paints them. And so we're going to do a collab Wednesday so that you can see. She drew up a picture. I've turned it into a rug. She's going to paint it, and we're going to collab it side by side so y'all can see the same thing come to life in two different ways. And so I will show you just a little bit of it. I'll throw it up here on my thing. So it's just a rug of flowers. She's going to paint realistic flowers, and I am going to punch it. And so that will be a rug that's going to go in my craft room. But that will be, I think, an interesting, fun thing to see. How two different mediums do the same thing, right? So on this one, like I said, I literally am using strips I have. So I have outlined the bottom in a light gray, which will be my floor, and in a really dark gray, which will be the baseboard. And then, yeah, I think it will be really cool to watch side by side as two different mediums do the same thing. And so then the main thing on a rug is, of course, getting your edges shored up, right? So that they're all straight. So I always tell people, no matter what you're doing, don't go by the line drawn on the fabric. Just stay within that certain thread, right? So you've got a warp and a weft, I think. And so you're just going to stay in that one. Just keep going in the same one all the way up, and your lines will be straight. Ignore the outside lines, because people, when they trace or draw, you know, it can move. So if you just do that and shore it up that way, then you're good to go. So with rug hooking, I work from the top, and rug punching, I work from the bottom. So if you're going to punch, then make sure your letters are all turned backwards, because when you flip it over, then it will be right side and your letters will be wrong side if you did it that way. Okay, y'all, I have my cat sitting here, and a dove just landed on the windowsill, and he is right up against the window. He is trying so hard not to move, so the dove, oh nope, he's gonna get it. Binks. I have a blue-eyed Bengal. So if you do !BINX, his Instagram account comes up. Oh, this dove is right here. It is so funny. He does. Oh, thank you, Deval, for the Binks command. Oh, y'all should see it. It is so funny. So I had to steal my cat back. There's a story. My husband, for some reason, had made up a chair in there, and Binks was going with him every time. So I put a bird feeder in front of my window in my office so he would come back to me. Oh, he's going to hit the window here in just a sec. So if you hear a loud bang, it's him trying to get the dove. Oh, he can't stand it. But he's trying so hard not to get him. It is so funny. So what else have y'all learned? Tell me. What new things did you find? I've had so much fun going to all of the different the stops. What an awesome job Supreme does, doesn't she? I mean, that is a lot of work and a lot of adjusting on the fly. Oh. We may lose my camera and everything. The Toy Rodeo has appeared.
Did you get him? I saw you.
Classy says hey.
Hey.
Toy Rodeo streams.
The thing I learned was I think I'll stay a gamer.
You think you'll stay a gamer? You don't want to be a crafter?
No, you're crafting stuff. I don't know that I'm quite that talented.
Oh, yes, you are.
You guys are very talented.
There are a lot of talented people in this TCC, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yep.
For me, it's just easier to shoot things.
Okay, Classy, thank you. I know you were sniffling. I was in there watching.
Bye, Classy.
Feel better. You want to try the Tree of Life wire wrap piece that Positively Crafty did. And the table weaving that Thunder of Dragons was doing. I did see you weaving, Cub. I saw you carding. How did you like the carding and breaking it all back up? Because you took some of your leftovers and were redoing it, right? I have never, so I knit, I crochet, in fact, my favorite crochet is mosaic crochet. You untwisted your scraps, yeah. You love the carding. Oh, okay. The one thing, I mean, that just is that spinning is not something that I think I want to do. It just does not. Like my husband wanted sheep, and I said, there is a big difference between having sheep to what I do with yarn. You need to practice more with the spinning. Yeah, I have friends that spin, and that just does not interest me. I mean, I like the idea of being able to mix the colors and create, some of my own, but I can do that with dyes. So, I don't need to spin. I'll just get it and dye it myself. Already done. But I can see where it would be a really therapeutic process, right? But I don't know. I think a little of my OCD would probably come in with the thickness and thin parts and all of that. But and there's such beautiful painters in this thing too. It's not just crafting, right? There's such pretty art. I will show y'all a piece I am doing. It's a commission, and I ran out of yarn, which I think I just got the notification and will be here today. You like all the steps that go into making the yarn, but you don't want to do all the steps before carding. Yeah, I don't want to clean it. Ugh, yeah, me neither. So I'll show y'all one other piece. So one of my viewers, his wife paints, and she did this painting, and we took this painting and we have turned it into a rug. Oops. We've turned it into a rug. Here's the rug. There's the picture. Aw, thanks. So this was fun. This was a little challenging because I can't layer like a painter would, right? I can't just keep building on top. So I had to figure out how do I make these waves? How do I create the dock? And the dock came out a little dark, and I was a little concerned, but I think the blues in her dress pop. And getting the colors right, getting all the water and so it was quite a challenge, but I loved it. I had so much fun with it. And look, I was right here. This is all I had left to do. And I ran out of yarn. So that is coming in today, and I will be able to finish this up. But that was one that was interesting and a different thing that I've ever done before, was taking somebody's painting. I know, ran out of yarn. So frustrating. The whites and the creams contrast. Yeah, and I know. Thank you, Joyful. Yeah. I know. I'm so glad. I've been waiting a week. I kept thinking, okay, it's got to be here. It's been, so I live in Fort Worth. It's been in Dallas for 3 days. Very annoying that it can't get here. But that was fun. Quite a challenge. And she used pops of gold, and I tried to stay right with her colors, right with her lines, and make it as accurate as possible. Oh, thank you, Cricket. Good morning, Dub. Thank you, Cub. We I like teaching about it. I like being challenged. I always need a challenge, so that one was quite the challenge. And this is a challenge, trying to make this not look ugly when all I'm using are scraps. So we'll see how this goes. This one's another challenge, but that's always fun, right? I don't know about y'all, but even knitting, I wouldn't just make the same piece over and over, and I would need to have a challenge in it, some kind of new technique somewhere in it to learn something new. Otherwise, I just got too bored. Now I will show y'all. Let me show you my. So my favorite crochet is mosaic. I love having a picture. Sorry, I'm trying to find where. Oh, there we go. I'm going to take my finished rugs away, and I'm going to show y'all my children, my daughter and son-in-law, and the rugs. I made them for Christmas. It says kids right there. Let's see what happens. Oh, here we go. Let me move this up. So his blanket says, "Warning, may yell at video games." And hers has an owl in a crescent moon. And that was fun. Those are my favorites. That is my favorite type of crochet. And that is what I have been doing recently. And of course, you know, y'all are, I'm sure, are exactly the same as me. You have 100 projects ready to go. Way more than I can do. All right, Lady Cricket Bug, thank you for coming in. Yes, 100 ideas. Yes, it's the same thing, right? So if my yarn is going to be, if I'm going to have it on the floor, then I usually stay with wool yarn, although the tufters, you know, use acrylic all the time and they seem to hold up. The difference, and I do have a tufting frame and a tufting gun, and I can do that. The difference with what I do and what they do is they cut their loops. So I do not cut my loops. And for me, if I'm going to put it on the floor, then I use wool, because it will just hold up so well. if I'm going to hang it on the wall, I use shiny yarn, I use sparkly stuff, I use tinsel yarn. It does not matter. If it's going to go on the wall, have fun. Use what you want. But if I'm going to put it on the floor, I tend to... So this, let me grab a piece and I'll show you. So if you were going to put it in a bathroom, then t-shirts would be perfect because it will soak up the water, right? But this is actually wool, felted wool strips. So just pieces of wool that I've cut. So what I tell people to do, if you want to start with hooking and you don't want to put out a ton of money at first, then go to a thrift store, find wool skirts, wool shirts, sweaters, just deconstruct them, wash them. Yeah, so use that and make a rug for your bathroom, and it will, you know, it absorbs everything. You made t-shirt yarn. Yeah, so cotton, that will, you know, that would soak up really well for a bathroom. Stepping out onto it, you wouldn't want wool in there. And the only thing you would not want for your backing would be burlap, because burlap dissolves in water, you know, when it gets wet. So and that's the other thing with what I do versus tufting, is because I keep my loops and I don't cut them, then I don't have to do the glue and the backing and all of that for the backs of my rugs. They won't pull out. You know, it's really hard to pull one of these out. Now, because half of it is still hanging down under here, I'll show you. I can pull this out like this, and it just disappears. But that's because I can get a hold of it from underneath. When I actually hook, or when I punch, either one, my habit is to always bring my tails up to the top, because if for some reason, let's say it got caught on a nail or whatever, because your tail is up, it would take a lot to get it to pull something out, and it certainly wouldn't pull out the whole thing, because it would have to get that tail back under there and then yank. So that is the other thing I always do, is push all my tails forward. All of the ends of my yarn, everything is always up. It's always on the top of my rug. So and you just literally, I'm keeping, so when I hook, this hand is always underneath, and what's happening is it's just hanging there, like I've let it go and it's hanging. But so I just kind of keep these two fingers where I know where it is under there, and then as my hook goes down, all I'm doing is taking my thumb and making sure it wraps around, and then I pull it up, and you'll see me pull up farther than I need to pull up, and then I will take my thumb and pull it back. After I take it out, pull it back down. And that's because on the underneath, you don't want a big loop on the underneath like you're going to have on the top. So I always pull so that comes flat on my underneath, so I don't have a bunch of bumps. So I have all my bumps up here, but under here, let me see if I can show you one from the back. So this is one I'm in the process of doing, but I've had to set it aside because I had that commission and then that ran out, and I just haven't gone back to this one. So this is one that is done just like what I'm doing now. I'm not finished with it. But on the back side, see, you want it to be flat. You don't want any bumps. So when I'm working from the back, and you are going to see through on the back, it doesn't have to be crowded. Thank you for checking in, Grim Reaper, using your TCC. So that's the difference with the back and the front. All right, be careful. Have a great drive. So that's the difference. So that's what I'm doing with my hand underneath. I'm pulling it up and then bringing it back down so that I know that I got all of that fabric between the last two loops pulled up and it is flat underneath there. And if you want to see me punch, I can switch over. Just let me know and I will be glad. Trust me, I've got a rug. All right, you can make your breakfast. If y'all like to see how I punch, I have a rug I'm making for my daughter right now, and I can throw it on my frame real quick and work on it. The power keeps flickering. Oh no, you're in the bad storm. Well, be safe. I hope you don't have the issues we had last week. Whew. We've got two sides of our fence down. We need a new roof. We had 75-mile-an-hour winds. It was a lovely beginning to the week last week. All right. So like I said, I have got just tons and tons and tons of noodles. And I'm not going to dig and keep looking through all of them for this. We'll move on to another thing. I thought we might do this in this lighter blue. So I always outline first. And I'm just looking to see. I try not to put two tails together because again, if it did get snagged, then you don't want two pieces ripping out at the same time. So, oh, that was the cat going after the bird. Did you get him, bud? Did you get him? Did you get him? You knocked everything off your desk. Yeah. And so I just follow my lines. And you can pull these loops. If you wanted it to be a shag carpet, I mean, you can pull your loops as high as you wanted. It's really about where you want your rug look to be. I like mine lower. I like them actually to be about the width of my hook. So I bring them up and then just bring them right back down to there. It's the same with punching. I have different punch needles that have different heights on them. You saw the this one, and the reason that Cub likes this one is because you can go, you see the needle size, right? So let's watch the needle. So I can take that and go all the way up to a 12, and you see how long that goes. So that would be how long your loop is. So when you do something with something like this long, your picture becomes much more kind of watercolory maybe a little abstract because your loops are getting so long you're losing some of your definition. So that is different, but it would make a shag carpet, right? It would make a nice shag. So those are some of the differences. And then like my 2 punch needles right here, you can see the difference in the lengths, and you can see the difference in the hole size. So this one will handle bulky really well. But if you only had one and you wanted it to be a shorter pile, right, a shorter punch, you could put like masking tape right here, and so when you punched into it, it would, instead of going all the way down to where it stops, it would automatically stop about right there because you'd have something stopping it. So you can have one punch needle and still make it different lengths if you didn't have 2. There's always workarounds. And I heard Supreme earlier talking about her button jars. I still have a tin. It was a cookie tin of my grandmother's that she kept all of her buttons in, and I still have that jar, that tin with buttons in it. When I make baby outfits, I need buttons. If someone's having a baby, I do little sweaters, and I have a button tin. I think I'm going to switch. As soon as I get this done, we'll switch out and show punching. My stream always has very relaxed music. Oh, I know, bud. I hear you. Did you get that bird? As soon as I get this, actually, I'm gonna go here, piece of blue done. Or long strips. Depending on where your fabric, how you cut your fabric, you can have really long strips, which is usually what I like to do, or you can have short ones, and this one is very long. And of course it feels longer because I'm trying to switch to something else, right? Alright, so again I go around, cut my tails. So I'm going to take this, and let's move this all off. Yeah, I saw it. And while there's an ad going, I'm going to switch ropes. Right, I am going to switch rugs in a minute, but you know what? Since we were recycling, let me show you a couple of my reuse thingies that I did. These I just did for fun for me, but we have a laser cutter and a 3D printer. But on the laser cutter, you waste a lot of wood, and so I decided I was going to take some of those wood pieces. Toy Rodeo, that may be the guy to fix the fence. If you could answer that door, please. So I took some of these pieces, and he had cut 2 hearts out of this one. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry. So I took this and I felted, I needle felted a tree behind it and stuck it into this piece of wood. I stained the piece of wood and then needle felted behind it and made me a little Valentine's sign for Valentine's. Trying to kind of reuse up some of these pieces of wood that I didn't have anything to do with them, and he has a pile of them. So I did this one, and then I did this for, now he could have reused this and cut other pieces out, but I needle felted this and did this. But we use a lot for coasters, different things, and so I was trying to find uses for them. I could have done some of this today, but I wasn't thinking about that when I started. So those are just some other little reuse, recycle things that I've done. All right, I'm gonna pull this one off. So this is rug hooking. But now let's do a punch. I'm working on a rug for my daughter and her husband. They're moving and are gonna have wood floors. So let me grab it because it's huge. This one is a 45 round. This is my problem. See, I end up with so many rugs going that... Hey Jonas, how are you this morning? So this is the front side, how it's gonna go. Still got to switch out this green to this green, and this green we're gonna put back to our dark. But this one is punched, and so I think this is called cup and plate. Thank you for the alert, Jonas. Alright, so the pattern's on the back, right? Because we're punching from the back. Let me get it situated so I can reach the whole little piece. And of course it wants to hang on my thing, so I have to move it slowly so it doesn't rip everything else out. Throw this down here. All right, and we're going to just pull, just like with cross stitch or any of that, you need it to be pulled and secured. Okay. So on this one, we're going to our punch needle, and instead of wool strips, we are going to be using yarn. The nice thing about this is it's faster on the front end, You may have a little more cleanup on the back end. You can also create different effects and colors. So like I'm gonna do the veins on these two leaves, and I am mixing two colors. So it gives me a different look. Right? And I'm just feeding this through. It also gives me continuous. I don't have to stop. I can punch the whole thing because I'm working off a skein versus strips. So if you fight your thing, don't fight it. Just use a threader, a needle threader, and put that in there if you need to. So I have this continuous feed through here. The biggest thing about when people punch is either, like right there, it was snagged. Your yarn is snagged somewhere. So if you start punching, so I'm just going to do it out here in the center. Let's say you start punching, right? And then thanks for the check-in, Mrs. Mad Ronan. So we have loops, right? And then let's say we're continuing on down and they're not sticking, right? They're just not staying in. Then it's somewhere your feed is stuck. So like I held that, but usually it's under my arm or wrapped around my scissors or something like that, and that's all it is. It's not, don't get frustrated if you try punching and something gets stuck or it's not going in and you're not getting it. Well, I'm glad you're checking in and hanging out with the raid. Y'all have had fun, I know, because I've been raiding right along with y'all. So, same thing, I pull my tails through. Bespoke, thanks for the lurk. I pull through. So my tail is on the front side, like I said. It's just a habit I do, so that I always know. And then when I'm doing just a line and I'm not going to use that color much at all, I do it twice. So I have enough width for those lines to show. And that is all I'm doing right here, is just punching. And as long as I go down all the way to where it stops, then my loop should be the same. Sometimes I get going fast and I may not go as far as it should, and so I may have shorter loops and longer loops. Those you can cut if you need to, but it should be pretty steady, pretty easy. And because it's continuous, I don't have to stop. Isn't that nice? This goes a little faster on the front end, but you have a little more cleanup. Oh, thank you for the follow. How come my alert didn't go off? I don't know. But once you get used to the punching, so what happens is when you start punching up against each color, as you go through, you can snag the other color, and what it does is, because that's a loop, right, it's not cut like in tufting, it can snag it and move it to the side. So let's say if I punched in right here with my white and I snagged a green, you won't see it on this side, but on the other side I could have a green loop way over here because it pulled that loop over, and then I have to pick it up and move it back over that loop. But if you learn, as you learn, to turn your needle a different way when you're going up against another color, or sometimes I even hold my hand underneath and push, so let's say push this way because I know I'm punching on this side of it, and then you can keep from having some of that cleanup on the front end, on the back end of the punching. Where with hooking, you pretty well see what you're doing. You're working from the front, and it's pretty well done once you've hooked it. Now, I will say my projects are never done in one day, and sometimes never done in a week. But there is progress made daily. So if you like to see something come together, you will get to see. And I do work on, if I'm working on it, it is worked on stream, and I do make sure we get to see it finished. Why does it do that unfollowing thing? Isn't that frustrating? There are lots of things about Twitch I do not understand. I don't trust my ad thing. It'll say ads, and it'll say ads started, and it'll be 3 more minutes before the ads start. So my Frosty tools I trust more than I do the actual thing on Twitch. It took me forever to understand why I could see viewers, but my viewer count wasn't the same as that. So there are lots of things I didn't understand, and I'm learning, and I don't have all the bells and whistles. I've only been doing this 3 months. I guess I'm starting my 4th month. It does. It does. It is a perfect name. It is a perfect name for it. So, and there's so much to learn, and there's so many things to do that I'm adding a little as we go. My husband has a channel, and I have a channel, so, which is obvious, I know. So, what we're doing is for March Madness, which is college basketball, big playoff tournament, we're both going to have brackets in a place where y'all can go and fill out a bracket if you want to play. And we Toy Rodeo, can you bring me the trophy, please, if you're hearing me? And what we're going to do is we're each going to have winners from our channels that will get a plaque with our channel name and that they are the 2025 champion with their username on it. And we will mail that out no matter where. And then Toy Rodeo and I will have a bet that whoever's channel wins out of the two, I think he's going to have to come on one of my streams and do a craft, which you heard him a while ago say he doesn't want to do crafting. He wants to stay with his gaming. If I win, he's going to come on my channel and learn a craft. If I lose, I have to go on his channel and play Path of Exile 2, which I have not done. But I do play Diablo with him on his channel a lot. So I am not a gamer. I run into all the walls. I get stuck on the stairs. It's bad. It's just horribly bad. But his channel thinks I should play PoE too. So that is what we have going on here in the next, I think it's like in a week and a half. And we'll be able to make our brackets. And if you don't know anything about basketball, let me just tell you, I may pick by colors of the teams that I like who are playing each other. I could possibly pick by mascots. I don't know most of these things about these teams, but I will say I won. So we have a family one that we do. My son-in-law loves basketball. So we have a family one that we do, and I won 2 years ago. And my daughter and I were in the final game. The boys were out, and my daughter beat me, but I did make it to the final game. And like I said, I pick from various thingies that are very bizarre, but not your norm. So it can happen. You can win when you know nothing about it. So just so y'all know that, we will be announcing that, and it'll be in my title when we get ready to start. They only open the picking.
Yeah, the conference says you're playing your championship games this week.
I asked you to. Hey, I asked if you'd bring me the trophy.
The thing comes up.
It's on. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in your cubby, in one of the black cubs right there, where I took that tub out. Well, he was trying. He couldn't find it because I moved it. So the conference games are playing right now, and then you only have a few days when the picks open, because you can't pick after it starts playing. So it's a very short frame. I think like 3 days to make your bracket, but it is fun. It doesn't matter where you live. We will send the trophy wherever, and if you follow both of our channels, you get to play on both. You can do 2 brackets if you want to. Twice the chance of winning. So if you were me, you could pick one by mascots and one by colors. So this is what it looks like.
Should be stamped on
And we actually have a magnet where it can go on your fridge. And it would just say NCAA March Madness 20, and then your username, my channel, and winner 2025. So that is what it looks like. Thank you, Toy Rodeo. So that's going to be fun. We have that coming up. Oh, and I will show you. So I've got this rug to finish, and the one that the painting, and then I am going to do an Easter one that is, we're calling it the Velveteen Rabbit. I did not draw this one, but I am doing it in velvets. Is he not cute? Can you see him with all the glare? Let's see. Maybe I'll get above most of the light. Isn't he cute? And he's going to be done in all velvet. And that's going to be my little Velveteen Rabbit rug. And of course, because I'm doing velvets, he will not go on the floor. He will hang. He is cute, isn't he? I love it. So that will be up next. So this is all there is to punching. Punching is very easy. Cub, if you're on Cub's channel, he's been punching. Okay, this one I'm just about to run out of. And if I get a little bubble in it, I just reach underneath and pull that loop, and it doesn't get stuck that way. And it pulls down like it's supposed to. And if it's not feeding through, this lighter brown is real silky kind of. I mean, it's a wool, but it's much softer. So if I'm having an issue, I just kind of hold it back here until it gets past that spot that's having the issue, and then it'll feed through the rest of the way. So this one's a little more satisfying because you see changes much faster. I'm going to get this dark green out that I threw down here at the bottom of my thing. And so I just use wool yarn. Oh, thank you. I do a lot of different things. I really do need to get... I usually am posting what I'm working on and not really good about posting finished projects. I did notice I've got quite a few rugs missing. I do have a few of the rugs that you see rotating have been in books, and I have 2 rugs that I'm finishing for a book right now. Let's see, do I have those right here where I can get to them? So I did this one. Deanna David designed. It's in a book called Design Like an Artist. And I did this rug here. And then one of the challenges was to take the Van Gogh chair and punch or do a rug out of that. So here's what some of the people did as some of their takes on the Van Gogh chair. And then this is the one I did. I just kept seeing it as a Andy Warhol. Joyful, good night, thank you. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for following. Have a great sleep. So I just kept seeing this one as an Andy Warhol. So Van Gogh's chair is an Andy Warhol. That's what I did there. And then this one is called the Haunted Rug. It's all Halloween and fall themed rugs. And so here's the one I did here. I did that one. You see that rotating on the thing. And this one is actually a pattern book. So she gives you the pattern along with it. And then I did this one. And see, I framed it. It's in a frame. So those are some of the ones I've done. I've got 2. That one right there, the Mermaid Rose, and that one, the Jewel Scented Rose, are going to be in the next book. So I've just got to get those finished. I am going to start doing it once a month with C. Jamie Sim, a finishing Friday, where all we do is work on like finishing stuff, because I have rugs piled over here that I need to either mount onto canvas so that I can hang them, or I need to finish the backs of them so they can go. So I'm horrible about the finishing process. I like doing the designing, it's fun, right? And the color and the creating them, but the finishing, not so much. Not so much. To go back and double check the train during the middle of the night, because I tried to make sure I was following before I went to sleep, even though I left it up. I wish I could automatically follow. I'm assuming I'm asking too much. See, this moves much faster. I did get a notification that I am getting a box today, so I'm assuming that is my wool. Let's just check it and see. That is going to be my yarn I'm going to be able to finish. Isn't that exciting? That'll be the first thing I throw on this frame. See, and it getting wrapped around here, that will start to tighten and stop your flow. And then like this, see it just hanging there because there's a knot somewhere in there. That will make it look like you're not punching too. So those are just some of the little things. So if you try this, you won't get frustrated up front. just keep the feed out there as much as possible. Alright, so we've got this stem done now. So this is the color of our big leaves, this green right here. Oh. Ah, Blues Muse, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. How are you today? What were you up to? And thank you for the follow. And my alerts have quit. Good old trusty Frosty Tools. It's the only one that seems to always work consistently. I hope you're having a good day. We have all gotten very quiet. It's either working or they're tired. Vacations are hard, huh? Traveling on trains is a lot of overload for your brain when you see all this other cool stuff. You were playing Minecraft for a bit, but needed to rush out to a meeting, which you don't get to go to, but you need to go to. Yeah, I get it. Minecraft. Toy Rodeo used to love playing Minecraft. I've got him playing Diablo 4 right now because it's the only game I can play other than Hogwarts Legacy. But I don't play it well still. I run into things. I'm never on the right place he's waiting for me at. If y'all want to see Toy Rodeo's iTwitch, on his stream there are clips of him and I playing together. It's quite comical. In fact, let me just do this real quick. Oh, I'm never in the right spot. Never in the right spot. If you want to go see some clips with us in it, they're on his channel. There is one where I really do, his eye really is twitching, so y'all know. It's quite comical. But that is my husband, and we play games on his stream at night. We tried the collaboration thing. That was just too much work for gaming and trying to get us both on screen and all that. So that probably won't happen again. When I used to play Hogwarts Legacy when it first came out, I was so bad that, you know, the stairwells go like this, right? Well, so imagine my fingernail is my head, And as I ran, I never did turns, so I was facing the wall, I was facing whatever, because I could not figure out how to turn as I ran. So he would come in and go, I cannot watch you, you're making me sick. So, and for the most part, I had figured that out. But I still may not turn correctly sometimes when I run spirals. He calls me a pseudo gamer. I do want to do, let's shout out. So let's shout out our raiders, because I do really appreciate the rating. And of course, to our fearless, well, of course it's gonna, okay, we are not cooling down for 30 minutes. As like we've said several times, without Supreme Doom, what would we do? This is not an easy thing to have all these days of raids and getting all the people organized, and what a great job she has done to get all this going and staying on. How many of y'all have been on the whole thing? It is, I know it's a lot of work. And we're so thankful that you were willing to take on the task. You've been here the entire time. How many people have been on the whole raid all the way through? I know I have. I mean, I may not have been sitting here, but I have kept riding the train. And of course, we know Supreme has. We've seen her in all of them. If you're thinking about joining the community, which I'm assuming y'all already all joined to the community, but for those that are newer, I know I've had some in mind that I was telling them about the train and they were all excited to check it out. But this is such a great community. And I can't tell you how many times, of course I've heard that she might get in trouble with ship, but I can't tell you how many times I've looked up and, you know, Supreme is in there lurking, and I have some that are just so good about staying in so I don't feel like I'm by myself, right? Even if they're lurking, I so appreciate the lurks. Y'all don't have to talk. I will never call you out and make you uncomfortable. But I so appreciate the people that come in consistently out of TCC and just uplift each other. And and hang out. It's very encouraging. Makes you not feel alone. Isn't that amazing? Don't you just, that is so cool that they have ridden the train. They may not have got to see everything. Like yesterday, we were cleaning out a storage unit and getting a mattress and box springs for my mom that's going to my kids when they get ready to move this at the end of this week. They are moving at the end of this week. But, you know, I left it on at home, and even if I can't sit right in front of my machine, I've tried to watch the top of the every 2 hours to make sure I at least get in and see what everybody's doing. It has been so much fun. I hope everybody else has had as much fun as I have had on this. We still have all of today and tomorrow, so I know sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation, but let's keep riding that train. Isn't it? It is so heartwarming. And I love when those lurkers say something. But it has been so much fun. And just the talent. I mean, you know, you can get overwhelmed on you can get overwhelmed when you just go on to Twitch, right? And you just open and see all these streamers. So it's kind of nice to have it funneled for a little bit, so then you go, ooh, yeah, I really like what they're doing. And to get exposed to so many different people and different things, and this is my first raid ever. I just started streaming a few months ago. But I thought, you know, if I'm going to be working on my crafts anyway, why shouldn't I just do it on stream, right? I'm sitting here doing this anyway. And I probably talk to myself when I'm working on this, even if I wasn't on stream, so I might as well talk to y'all. And I have found really cool, sweet, wonderful people. Thanks for the follow. Oh, look who has decided to appear. This happens on stream quite often. And he thinks he's gonna lay right here. Hi, sweet boy. Can you just show them how beautiful you are? Oh, I know. Where are you going? Okay, we're going back the other way. He knocked his blanket off earlier when he was diving after the birds, so let me fix that for him real quick. Here you go. There. Now you have your blankie back. Is that what you wanted? Was your blankie? Okay. There you go. So that is Binks. Random Art, thanks for the follow. I think I said it, but just in case you didn't hear me, I appreciate it. I don't know what happened to my alerts. Thanks, Sir Johan. I believe you were the one that gave Toy Rodeo a gift sub to Classy. And Sir Johann streams. Except I think, didn't you just get back from Comic-Con, I believe? Did I see that earlier in Classy's stream? Yeah, did you have a great time? I hope you did. Days of art, comics, writers, anime, actors, etc. How awesome. That's great. I think my cooldown is on for some reason, Toy Rodeo. I don't know why. I thought I turned all of that this morning, so I wouldn't have any of those issues. But sometimes technology. Good morning, Random Art. How are you this morning? Or is it morning for you? It is morning for me. I guess it's still morning all the way across the U.S. right now. One of our favorite things to do is go to New Orleans, and they have markets down there just full of artists that have pictures and prints, and we love walking through there so much. Besides the beignets, we love the beignets too, and all the food. Most of our vacations revolve around food, just so y'all know. So that is how we pick what we're going to do. Like, there's just certain things, right? East Coast, you got to get a lobster roll. New Orleans, you got to have beignets, jambalaya. Not beignet, jambalaya. That would not be good. But you know what I mean. Texas, you have to have Tex-Mex. I did not do haggis when I was in Scotland, though. I just could not make myself do it. So when you punch, you also can get directional punching, just like you can get directional hooking. You can see the veins. And so like punching the leaves, I am doing those in a directional way because we all know how the leaves grow and your brain expects to see it that way. But when I get to like the backgrounds, then I punch those in what's called a higgly-piggly. And so it would be like I'll break out sections here and then just do those sections so that you're not constantly, and I wouldn't just do straight lines. I might go here and then I might go way over here and then, you know, this. And just to break up those sections so your eyes don't go to that and in your head go, okay, well, I know that's, you know, a straight line, or, and you don't want your eye to be drawn to the background. You want your eye to be drawn to the motifs. So that's another way that you can, because punching can get kind of mindless, like what I'm doing right here. I can very easily talk and punch, and you tend to just keep going in the same direction, around and around and around and around and around. So I break those areas up to remind myself not to just keep going in circles. Just looking because I wanted to hit a goal of 150. So let's see. Ooh. I think Sir Johann might have been my 150th. Very awesome. Thank y'all so much for all the follows. That is so wonderful. So I'll tell you, my husband and I are not competitive at all. So I had been streaming for like a month, and he decided, oh, I'm going to start streaming. And within 7 days, he was affiliate and had 4 times my followers. That's just the way of gaming, right? And so he just kind of like passed me by very fast. So I'm like, I'm gonna get followers. So thank you very much, because you hit my goal, and even though we're not where he was, I didn't have that for a goal. So this has been very awesome today. And I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate each of y'all hanging out with the raid, and hopefully y'all will come in and check out what I'm doing from time to time, or decide you like it well enough to ask questions, and I will be glad to talk you through it. And like I said, Wednesday I have a collab with a painter. I'm going to be making a rug out of the same thing that she, or not out of the same thing, the same design. I'm going to turn into a rug, and she is going to paint it as realistic flowers. So you'll see both of us on screen doing that at the same time. So that will be fun. Just give us some, it'll be nice to see it come to life in different art mediums. So I do have a few collabs coming up. They're on the screen. If you want to learn how to ultra punch, I'm going to be teaching someone on the 21st on screen. So if you don't want to ask questions, if you're shy or you don't want to chat, then then you can see that. You got to play some Warhammer. How fun is that? We used to, toy rodeo, what was it? That, it was Magic, wasn't it? Magic the Gathering. That they, for a while, would pop up, do pop-up stores where you could play, you know, the card game with others in the mall. I didn't do that, but Toy Rodeo, he always had a whole bunch of Magic the Gathering cards and liked to play. That was always fun. And now we're in ads again. Are you saying because we're older that you had a whole range way back in the day? Way back in the day. Okay, come on, Frosty Tools. I'm waiting for the answer. What common bathroom occurrence has puzzled people with its seemingly simple yet unexplained behavior? Now, Toy Rodeo, you know all the random stuff. Do you know the answer? Frosty Tools is having a problem. Hey, Thunder of Dragons. How are you? I was watching you last night. Thank you for the follow. I'll show you the one I started with this morning because it was much brighter, but it's a different technique. So this one, of course, is punch needle. And then the one I was working on when everyone first came in this morning is my rug hooking, where I do traditional rug hooking. And that's this one that I'm working on. And this one I'm using only leftover scraps that I keep in jars. So, you're at work. Well, thank you for popping in. So this is my rug hooking that I use a rug hook with. That is how I do this one. And now I moved over so everybody can see some rug punching. This one doesn't quite go with the theme because I am using skeins of yarn, but the other one that I started with was with the theme of using what was my leftover scraps, and that's how I'm making that rug, that laundry room rug. And I will post them on my Instagram when I get done so y'all can see what they look like. I'm going to get better about posting my finished pieces, my finished ones. So I'm not very good at that. I usually post of what I'm working on that day, and I don't tend to go back and do the final rugs. So good morning. How are ya? Thanks for the check-in. I always want to say upcycly. Is that what it is? I know you've been in my stream several times, and correct me if I'm wrong. I hate getting people's names wrong. Because I don't ever know if it's upcycly or if it's upshelly. Upshelly and cycly. This rug is 45 by 45, so it is a large rug. Oh, good. Upcycly. I did get it right. That's what I thought it was, but just want to make sure. How is your day going? Well, I am having fun. I am having fun. I said I've been riding the train all weekend, and I've seen so many new things and so many new people, and I'm thrilled that everybody came for a visit here. If you were really at my house, I would have a wonderful spread of food laid out. Oh, and I did have pizza. Toy Rodeo night before last, Saturday night. We did have pizza while we watched the train, so I'm trying to get into that tradition too. Okay, so I do not. That is the difference between what I do and what tufters do. So with a tufting gun, mine can do either way, but with a tufting gun, usually it will cut your loops on the other side. So when it punches through, it automatically cuts them, which is why they have to glue theirs, because their strips are only about that long, kind of like when you do latch hook rugs. But the latch hook makes a knot, where what they're doing is when they punch through, it's automatically cutting it on the other side, and there's no way to keep theirs in. So that's why they have to glue and then put a backing on. Because I do not cut my loops on the front side, I do not have to go through those processes. So I don't have to put the glue on. I don't have to put a backing on if I don't want to. I think they look a little finished if you do, but you don't have to. So I will flip this. Well, I'll show you this one. So this one that I'm getting ready to show you is done exactly. My pizza was sausage and grilled onions, and Toy Rodeo's sausage pizza, because we'll eat on it for days, was pepperoni and mushrooms. Yep. Sag. sausage, yes. So this is the back side. So here is a front side of one. And the loops stay. So if I pulled a piece out, right, it would be really long. So it doesn't need the gluing that the tufting guns need. So mine all has loops. There are little loops in here, which is kind of fun too, because what I did in the waves is I alternated my punch too. So I've got longer pieces and shorter loops. They're all still loops, but the waves actually have a little bit of movement to them that way also. Let's see if I can roll it and show you, because this is how I trim usually. I'll roll my rug so you can see. Okay, yep, I'm good. Just so they don't get bored. So why am I not seeing it on my, I have frozen. Hold on just a second, because I can't see my own. Maybe Twitch is having issues. Okay, so there we go. My camera froze. All right, so you can see that there is some depth going on, and so I can make my needle punch at different levels. Right, yeah, they're shaved flat. Now this one's going on a wall. This one is not going on the floor. This is a commission piece, and so they're going to hang it. But you can give it dimension in different ways, right? And because so here's what I was given this picture, and it was a painting that his wife had done, and he commissioned a rug to be done to it. And I can't layer, paint. You know, they built theirs up, right? They've done all kinds, and I can't do that in mine. So I have to find other ways to make that. Yay, Olive's you're back. Great. Glad to have you back. So I have to find different ways to make this look like she did it. And it's on a different scale too, right? So that's what I did with that one. I'll show you one other one that what I did was on my Valentine rug that I made. Let me throw this one up here so you can see. The Valentine one I made, the whole inside, everything inside this white and the white is punched with this needle, but that one is shorter than this one. So what I did was I took this outside border and punched it with the longer needle, which then, if you can see, there's a difference in between the white and the gold. The loops are much taller here. And what it did was it actually built me a frame around this, and so this all looks inset to that, and gave it a little bit of a different look. So that's what I do with my rug punching. I can do all kinds of things. And actually, what I did on this one, the pattern was face up. And if you punch it, which is what I wanted to do for the most part, my letters would have been backwards, right? Because I'm punching from the back. And if I had used... So when you punch from the back, I would have flipped this over so that my ink side is up, but these were all backwards. So what I did was I punched around it and then came in on the front, flipped it over, and hooked these so that I could see that. Same with this. I wanted to use this plaid wool that I had in the skirt and in the brim of the tam and in the top of the socks. But I would have needed to hook those, not punch them. So I outlined with my punch needle where those strips would go with my yarn, flipped it back over on the right side, worked the skirt, the tam, and the socks from the right side, then flipped it back over and did the rest of the punching. So I can incorporate both techniques in one rug, but none of my rugs are cut, and none of them have all that icky glue on the back. So they are a little more bendable. Now, if they're completely hooked, yes, I'm always using multiple techniques. So this one is completely hooked, so it is much stiffer, and they are heavy. I mean, this rug will last generations. So if it's treated right, and I don't have to glue it, but it will last generations with the wool. So those are just some of my different techniques. Okay, that's fine. Alrighty, we will be ready to choo-choo on. And we will have a train raid shout out that you can copy, and we will, when we're ready, we'll get that out. Oh, thank you. I love doing this. So I'll give you, since we have 5 minutes, I'll give you my rabbit hole fast version. I was a knitter, and you spend a lot of money on some of those skeins, and I didn't, when you don't use them all, you have leftover bits, it's not enough to do another project, and I'm not really one for scrap things. And so I had all this extra yarn. And thank you Positively for the follow. And then I went to a Fiber Fest in Kentucky and saw somebody punching. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would be a beautiful way to use up my scraps of yarn that I just didn't want to get rid of. And that's how I started this. And then of course I taught myself to knit on YouTube. I taught myself to crochet on YouTube. I taught myself to do this on YouTube. And as I was doing this, I came across somebody traditional rug hooking, which started, actually, it's one of the only ones you can prove, started in the US. They used to take old clothes and yes, I mean, what did you do before YouTube, right? I never could knit. Found somebody that knitted holding their yarn in their right hand, not in their left hand, and that was it. That's all I needed, was just that change, saying it's okay to hold my yarn in my right hand. I was gone. So rug hooking actually started because people would take burlap flour sacks, cut their old clothes that they couldn't mend anymore, and take a bent nail and design. So most of what you see originally is old primitive style, right? Because they would draw a dog or a horse that looked like a dog that looked like a horse, one of those things. And that's how they would make rugs for their dirt floors. And so on the East Coast, this is still the rug hooking. This technique is still very much, I have it upside down, very much a thing. Not so much over the whole US. So I've really enjoyed bringing it to YouTube and people, or YouTube, Twitch. I stream on YouTube too, but to Twitch and people being exposed to a technique that was dying out. It is coming back, but I live in Texas, and most people do not even. Thank you for the check-in. Most people didn't even understand what I did. They would have to see me do it. They didn't even know it was a thing. So, it has been something that has been fun showing people. And like I've said several times, and I know y'all have heard me, that I love teaching about it. I love talking about the different crafts I do. I'm glad to teach knitting, mosaic crochet, rug hooking, needle felting, any of those things that if y'all ever see me working on something and you want to ask questions, please do. I will be glad to show you techniques. I'll point you in other people's ways on YouTube that will give you great references to look at. Ribbon Candy Hooking on YouTube, she actually uses mesh, like chicken wire, so that you can see her other hand underneath as she's feeding this through, so you can see what she's doing with her other hand. She also has a store that sells patterns and wool and all kinds of things. She also will tell you how to do it inexpensively if you want to start, and just use a regular crochet hook and some strips of cloth, and we'll get you started that way. So I hope y'all have enjoyed seeing a new technique, and I hope y'all learned something. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Again, I thank you so much for all the follows. That has been wonderful. I hope you will stop back and ask questions. I am very good at encouraging you to try new things. I love getting people started on new things. Classy has now designed a rug for her son's room that she's going to do punch needle. And we've seen Cub break out his punch needle. Oh yes, I am an enabler. I can encourage with the best. I am glad to help you try something new. I know, it goes fast, doesn't it, Sassy? I've got another streamer that he's a tufter, but he wants to do this, and he can use his tufting fabric, and he can do his yarn, but just work it from the front. So I think he's going to take one of the paintings he's done, turn it into a rug, and hook it this way with his wool and his fabric, because it can all be interchanged. So that's the other thing. This is linen that I'm using here. This is burlap that I've got here. This is monk's cloth, and this is rugwarp. So you can use any of the ones that you can get in your area, and none of them are wrong. And I'm really good at saying there's no right or wrong. Just there are a few rules I would keep if you're going to use them on the floor or not use them on the floor. And that's about it. So this one's going to be very bright, which I think will be good for my laundry room. Maybe it will make me happy when I'm doing laundry. Because laundry's not fun, is it? I don't mind the laundry. Folding I hate. Folding's bad. So folding is the bad word. So I'm just waiting to be told we can move on. I didn't miss it, right? Nobody has said she's quite ready yet. So okay. My husband's yelling no. So I'm just gonna keep punching. Let's go over and start this one. And so when I go to do my white, just so y'all know, I always outline whatever my other color is once around even though, like I said, I won't just continue following it around because that will show a design in the white, but I will outline. I always outline once so that I know I get right up against it, and then I'll higgly-piggly inside on the filling of those. So just in case y'all are wondering about that, that is what I do, but we'll go ahead and work on this one right here. Why is there always technical difficulties when you're doing something like this, right? It just stresses you out. I don't know how many times I've come in and I'm like, hold on. My camera's not showing up today of all days, or of course now my alerts are broken, I guess, so. But y'all are all so gracious. Murphy. Yeah, always, right? And then it just, you want to enjoy it, and you're stressed, and so we're gonna go in, Raiden, and reset. Mushroom will get, I think that's who I'm doing, right? Mushroom. So we will reset, make them all happy. But it is not like I don't have plenty to work on, and I can talk as much as I need to. Do any of y'all get tired of hearing yourself? By the time I'm done, I don't want to be on the phone. I'm like, I'm tired of hearing my voice. Oh, good. I'm not the only one. See? What is up with that? Streamlabs quitting. And that just, nobody should have to start their stream that way. Especially when you know people are waiting. I hate that. I am never late, or I try. If I'm late, it is serious. I hate being late. And my husband doesn't like being late, and we've raised my daughter to not like being late. And then my son-in-law came into the family, and it is really hard for him to be on time anywhere. Oh, he's trying to teach us, I think. It's like, oh. So, your whole computer said nope and rebooted for no reason 15 minutes before your stream Sunday. What is that, Ann, with the little gremlins? I'm telling you. And you're going, but wait, I had all this fixed and set up, and yeah. All right, our next host is ready to welcome us. I am going to do whoops, I can't type. Let me see if y'all want to copy that. Oh, Toy Rodeo did it for me. Thank you very much, Toy Rodeo. And we are going to raid into Mushroom Kippy. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my music so I can hear when we go in. And here we go. Sorry, hold on. Oh, well, it'd help if I use the right commands. Oh, and again, you know how I feel. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Oops, I'm shutting down Windows. I should not be shutting down. Hold on. All right, let's see if this works. Thank y'all so much for the follows. Thank you for the 3 raids. And thank you so much, Supreme Doom, for everything. We will hopefully see you soon, and I'll see you over there. Bye.
I have to think about where I was going with the stitches too much.